Hey guys, how's going on? Now before I get into this review, I just have to say one thing, and that is Inasa is too damn OP. I'm gonna get to him later on in the review, but I'm just so excited for his character because I'm just loving him already. But let's get right into the greatness that is this chapter. Boku no Hero Academia. This chapter was really awesome. I'm really liking what Horikoshi is doing. I'm really enjoying these exams. Now, this has really surpassed my expectations because with this exam, with the whole throwing a target on the ball, it kind of seems a bit too simple. It seems a bit too simplistic for like one of the rounds for the exam qualification. So when we first got into this, I was thinking it'd be okay. I didn't think I'd be enjoying it so much, and I'm especially loving the new introductions of the characters. I'm loving how the characters are being put on. We're getting some of their strengths highlighted, some of their weaknesses highlighted. We're just seeing a really great environment where these heroes can actually flourish from the fruits of their training. But they're getting their backs put up to the wall against some of the second years and people ahead of them. So this chapter was really great in symbolizing just the whole effort of how hard it is just to achieve something, or how hard it is to train to achieve something, because there's always going to be competition at the end of the day, and in its simplest sense, there's always going to be some people possibly even better than you, or some people working against you, and this is what we see in this chapter, and that's what Ketsubetsu High is doing to Class 1A, and this is just like, I'm really loving Ketsubetsu and Shiketsu High. I don't know if Horikoshi is doing this on purpose, but maybe he's kind of... I'm just going out on a limb right here, so I may be drastically wrong, but I feel like Ketsubetsu and Shiketsu High, they're going to be important schools in the future. Now maybe they may be the only two schools that we'll find out from these exams. Like, we'll probably see loads of other characters in the next round, but maybe these two schools, Shiketsu High and Ketsubetsu, maybe they'll have a greater role in the arcs to come, and that'll be pretty cool because I really am enjoying these characters. For example, Inasa, Shindou, this girl that we find out at the end of the chapter, and some of the others that we see in this chapter as well. They're really cool, and I'm really excited by the fact that they're second year, so they're obviously unbelievably stronger than Class 1A because first of all they've got more experience and they've had more time to train with their quirks and more times to be in the curriculum of the heroic lifestyle. So this chapter was brilliant because the special moves was awesome. First of all, I'm happy for Jirou and Ashido. We got a bit more screen time on them. Jirou's moves, I really loved it. Now, I don't know if Horikoshi's going down the route of, by amplifying quirks, they're going to be using, that pun is not intended, but by amplifying their quirks, I don't know if Horikoshi's going to be going down the routes of, just using like costumes and working around it. I'd like to see some, upgrading and, actually developing their quirks naturally instead of using costumes which can kind of work it around or manage to amplify. For example, with Bakugo's costume, we found earlier on in the series, we found out that it amplifies his explosions by concentrating all of the nitroglycerin. Like, I'd like to see some of those improvements naturally upgraded just by them, actually training with their body. But I guess we'll probably get to that later on in the series. Now with Jirou's quirk, she's got one of her special moves that we see in this chapter, and I gotta tell you, I love it. What is it called? It's called Heart FUZZ, and it's basically with the heartbeat, she amplifies it into these gloves that she has around her hands, and meaning she can use it to direct at anything, and it amplifies, you could say, the heartbeat to drastic, destructive levels, and that was really awesome that we saw in this chapter. You see the whole ground just shaking apart, and it really is amazing to see how far Class 1A has been. This is what Shindou said. Shindou said they're totally different from how they were at Sports Festival, and think of it, they totally are. Look back and see how Deku has been from the Sports Festival. Not even been able to, maneuver around with his quirk. Can't even use full cow. See how much he's transformed now. See how Tokoyami in the Sports Festival, his weakness, why he pretty much lost against Bakugo's, pretty much one, was Bakugo's light. That's what his explosions created. And two, Tokoyami wasn't really good with hand-to-hand defense or combat. with his own body, so that's why he kind of managed to work around it and use dark shadow as a like clothing around him and shrouding him in darkness, which is pretty awesome. We see some of that in this chapter when he's going out. I can't remember his name, I'm going to drop it down in the description, one of his moves, but it was just so badass. It was unbelievably cool. Now it shows you how unbelievably strong class 1A is against in comparison to the second years, because on average first year they shouldn't be this strong as, you know, Deku, as Bakugo, as Todoroki as. They've had experience in the villain in that villain environment. They've had experience fighting people, and they've had, like, you know, some of the great heroes, some alumni such as All Might, Best Genist, Edge Hero, Best Edge or something like that, Gran Torino, people like these heroes, they've had such great ones. Not that Shiketsu or Ketsubetsu High hasn't, but for the first year they've had miraculous results. Now, Inasa, he took out 120 people. This is unbelievable. I know Deku's the main character. Deku's definitely not the strongest, but seeing how so much strong people are in this series, in this verse, how can Deku be like the greatest hero? I'm not really sure. Obviously we do know Deku will be the greatest hero because it was said that in chapter 1. But like, I don't think he obviously won't be the greatest in terms of strength, surely. Because we're seeing some powerhouses like Inasa. Shindou's not a weak guy himself as well. Shindou's quirk is drastic. It is devastating. The amount of destruction he had on that area, it cleared the landscape. It was taking out buildings. We haven't seen that destruction in Class 1A. We've seen, yeah, we actually haven't. Other than, you could say, Tokoyami in the nighttime. But I don't think we have seen that much destruction on that kind of scale. So we're seeing people like Inasa, who Inasa destroyed buildings, destroyed landscapes. Like, he just destroyed everything in his path. And his special move, is his special move please and thank you? If it is, like, freaking hell, this guy is just hilarious. I love him. But the man is just so awesome. He's so strong. And what tops it off is this freaking costume, which makes him look like a walking powerhouse. Like, coming out of some kind of Street Fighter mecha blade. Like, it's just awesome. It's so freaking cool, and it's so intimidating. Like, picture, if you're a villain and you see a superhero walking up like that, like the wind's coming, buildings are crumbling when he's walking up to you, you're gonna be scared. Like, look what Inasa done in this chapter. I can't believe it that he's the second year. Like, imagine when he's an adult, like when he's a pro. That's just gonna be unbelievable. Now, I am not surprised now. It just confirms that he's definitely way much stronger than Todoroki. I feel with Horikoshi obviously not showing Todoroki and Bakugo, possibly we may see a future showdown between the two. Bear in mind, this is not just the this is only one of the rounds, so they can be like combat rounds in the future. They can maybe be one-on-ones or like team versus team kind of things. That would be really cool to see, actually, because in the sports festival we saw one-on-one. So how cool would it be if there was like 3 vs 3s or some kind of team situations? Because you've got to remember, in a heroic kind of lifestyle, there's a lot of hero teams and that, and in an environment when you're fighting against a villain, you may not be only the one hero there, so you're going to have to learn about teamwork, coordinating people. And we saw Ketsubetsu High doing that very well. They were working on their strengths and their weaknesses. I really did enjoy that. Now, yeah, so maybe Inasa does fight Todoroki and Bakugo in the future, and if they do, I can't see how they'd be able to defeat Inasa, because Inasa just seems like he has no weakness. Like, he's just so unbelievably strong. So at the end of this chapter, we see Deku, and Deku's getting excited by this. That's obviously his kind of spirit coming out, and he obviously does love a bit of competition deep down inside. He likes the challenge, you can kind of tell from Deku's character. But at the end, he's getting excited, even though he's just overwhelmed by so many powerful people like Shindou and the other people of Ketsubetsu. And this girl from Shiketsu High, we found her out, in chapter 102, chapter 103, I believe. Yeah, we found her out a couple of chapters ago. She was with Inasa, when Inasa was first introduced. And we don't really know what her quirk is, but she seems pretty cool. All I can say right now is Horikoshi is making it so hard on just deciding which best girls. Like, every time Horikoshi introduces a new girl, I'm just thinking, what the heck, man? Like, who even knows? Either way, I do really like the dynamic, what's happening. This new girl's character, she seems really interesting. I'm liking her vibe that she says. She finds Deku cool. So, she seems like she's a really cool person. I really do wonder what her quirk is. Maybe something about, like, agility or something like I don't know, her movement seems similar to Gran Torino's. So if it's similar to Gran Torino's, we do know that Deku's not going to have any problem with that, because her maneuvers kind of seem similar to Deku's fork out. So is this going to be a showdown, Deku versus Shiketsu High Girl? That would be pretty cool. Did we get her name confirmed? I'll have to check a couple of chapters ago. I don't think we did. So as of now, her name is Shiketsu Girl, the mystery girl. But she seems pretty cool. I really do like her character design. Looks really awesome. She kind of looks a little bit flirtatious, kind of like luring you in. And then like she'll just get you like mesmerized, and then she'll take you out, something like that. All we know is that she hit Deku. She hit one of Deku's targets. So Deku is handicapped right now, you could say. If she hits Deku again, Deku is out. So Deku is endangered right now. So overall, this chapter was really awesome. I cannot wait for next week. Inasa's showcasing of his power was just unbelievable. It's really interesting. This is just an interesting note to say. Most of the strongest students in the Boku no Hero verse, they're elementals. Think about it. Todoroki, you know, fire and ice. Inasa, wind. Shindou seems like probably one of the most strongest students we've come up to date. He is, you know, earthquakes. And also you could say Bakugo's elemental as well. I'd say he is, with explosions and kind of like fire, combustion. So all these guys, a lot of elemental kind of quirks, and they're extremely powerful with it. So I don't know if maybe that kind of shows you something. Who knows? We'll have to wait. Now, just Shinigami-san, please tell me your thoughts, comment below, and I'll see you next week for that greatness that is Boku no Hero Academia chapter 105. If you like anything I had to say in this review, please drop a like. That'd be greatly appreciated. Shinigami-san, peace out, guys, and goodbye.